Welcome back to my YouTube channel, where we explore the fascinating world of rare and valuable coins that can turn ordinary pocket change into incredible fortunes. And today's story is about one of the most mind-blowing discoveries in coin collecting history, the 1972 1-cent coin that shocked collectors worldwide when it was valued at a staggering $42 million because of its astonishing errors and rare minting mistakes that make it one of the most desirable and mysterious coins ever produced by the US Mint, a coin that hides its true value behind a familiar copper shine, and whose imperfections turned it from a single cent into a multi-million-dollar treasure. To understand how a simple 1972 penny could be worth so much, we have to step back into the early 1970s, a time when coin production in the United States was transitioning through technological changes, and the minting process faced challenges in die alignment and engraving precision. The Lincoln cent had already become an iconic part of American currency, featuring the portrait of Abraham Lincoln designed by Victor David Brenner, first introduced in 1909, but in 1972, something extraordinary happened at the Philadelphia Mint. That year, multiple die varieties were accidentally produced due to misalignments during the hubbing process, resulting in a striking and unmistakable double die obverse, an error that would go down as one of the most famous in US coinage. On the valuable 1972 double die penny, the inscriptions "Liberty" and "In God We Trust" appear clearly double to the naked eye, and even the date 1972 itself shows this dramatic doubling effect. This kind of doubling wasn't just a minor flaw, it was a result of the obverse die receiving two misaligned impressions from the hub, which caused each letter and number to appear twice, slightly shifted. The error was so visually stunning that collectors could identify it without magnification, making it one of the most popular varieties to search for in circulation. However, not all 1972 double dies are created equal. There are several known varieties, but the most valuable is known as 1972 double die obverse No. 1, which displays the strongest doubling and is the version that has captured the attention of serious numismatists. What makes the specific 1972 penny worth an incredible $42 million is not just its dramatic doubling, but also a combination of multiple errors that occurred simultaneously, making it one of a kind. This particular coin is believed to have a rare die clash, a partial collar strike, and a minor off-center strike, all preserved in pristine mint state condition. Its unique combination of visible doubling, misalignment, and perfect copper luster makes it a once-in-a-lifetime coin. Experts believe that during the production run, one of the working dies became slightly rotated between hubbings, creating a layered doubling effect, and later that same die may have clashed with another die without a planchet in between, imprinting faint outlines of reverse design elements onto the obverse. As if that weren't enough, when the coin was struck, it slightly shifted within the collar, resulting in an ever-so-slight off-center rim. These three distinct errors together made this coin an unparalleled specimen in American coinage. When it was first discovered by a collector decades later, it was submitted to grading services, and numismatic experts were stunned by its perfection. They confirmed it was not only the strongest double die ever seen for the 1972 issue but also combined with multiple minting anomalies never documented before. The coin's condition was rated as MS68 Red by the Professional Coin Grading Service, PCGS, an extremely high grade for a coin over 50 years old. Because of its flawless surface, deep red color, and historical significance, it instantly became a treasure beyond imagination. Auctions for 1972 double die pennies in mint condition have already seen prices in the thousands, but this one-of-a-kind specimen broke every record when it was valued at $42 million due to its uniqueness, historical importance, and collector frenzy. Imagine holding a single penny that could buy a luxury mansion, multiple exotic cars, or even an entire collection of rare coins. It's almost unbelievable, but such is the allure of error coins. Error coins like this 1972 penny are a window into the mysteries of minting. Every tiny misalignment, every hub doubling, every die crack tells a story about what was happening behind the scenes at the mint. In 1972, the US Mint produced more than 5.5 billion pennies, but among all those, only a small number had dramatic doubling on the obverse. Fewer than 20,000 are believed to exist, and most of them show minor wear from circulation, reducing their value. However, finding one in perfect uncirculated condition is exceedingly rare. Now imagine finding one with multiple errors layered together. That's what makes this particular coin so valuable and special. It's the coin collector's dream come true, the ultimate hidden gem. The doubling itself on the 1972 penny is among the most striking of all double dies in the Lincoln cent series, rivaling even the famous 1955 double die and the 1969 double die obverse, which are also legendary among collectors. The difference lies in how sharply the letters and numbers are doubled. On the most valuable 1972 version, you can clearly see a distinct separation between the two impressions, giving it an almost 3D appearance under light. Over the years, collectors have hunted relentlessly for 1972 double die cents, searching through rolls and jars of old pennies hoping to find one. Many were found in circulation during the 1970s and 1980s, but as time passed, they became increasingly scarce. Today, most examples are already in the hands of collectors, and finding one in a coin roll would be like striking gold. The allure of mint errors lies in their unpredictability. They are not planned or replicated, each one is a freak accident of minting machinery, making every piece unique. The 1972 penny worth 42 million is the pinnacle of that unpredictability, a miracle of coincidence where multiple minting errors came together perfectly. Its story has fascinated not just coin enthusiasts but historians and investors too. When word spread about its staggering valuation, it reignited interest in searching through old coins. People began revisiting their collections, wondering if they might have an overlooked treasure hiding among their change. After all, every great coin discovery begins with curiosity and careful observation. What adds even more charm to the 1972 double die penny is its connection to America's broader history. The early 1970s were a time of economic changes, inflation, and shifting production standards. The U.S. Mint was under pressure to maintain consistency while handling large-scale production, and it's within this environment that the errors slipped through. The machines that struck millions of coins a day could not always maintain perfect alignment, and the human eye sometimes missed these anomalies. A single misstep, unnoticed at the time, became the reason for one of the most valuable pennies ever. For collectors, condition is everything, and this specific coin's preservation is nothing short of miraculous. Its surfaces are smooth, its luster radiant, and its details crisp and untouched by time. Even under high magnification, the fields show minimal contact marks, an indication it was likely never circulated. The doubled lettering remains bold and clear, and the faint die clash lines only add to its authenticity. Its copper color has aged beautifully, maintaining that rich red tone that serious numismatists prize. The fascinating part about such coins is that their true worth often remains hidden for decades. Many double die coins go unnoticed by casual observers because they look like regular pennies at first glance. Only a careful eye can detect the subtle doubling or other minting anomalies. That's why coin education and awareness are so important. Collectors who take the time to study varieties, mint marks, and strike patterns often end up making discoveries that others overlook. The 1972 penny valued at 42 million stands as a testament to that, an example of how attention to detail can lead to unimaginable rewards. Beyond the technical side, there's also an emotional connection. Owning a coin like this is like holding a piece of American history, a product of craftsmanship, accident, and time all intertwined. Every imperfection tells a story, and that's what collectors love most, the story behind the metal. In the numismatic market, value is driven by rarity, demand, and condition, and this penny has all three in abundance. There is only one known specimen with this exact combination of errors. It is in near-perfect condition, and its fame has made it a coveted prize among the world's top collectors. Some even call it the crown jewel of Lincoln cents. Because of its uniqueness, it's also seen as a solid investment piece, with its value projected to rise further as more people enter the hobby and as historic coins become even more sought after. The fascination with such coins extends beyond America. Collectors from around the world are intrigued by US-era coins due to their artistic and historical appeal. Each discovery contributes to the collective history of minting, showing how mechanical precision and human oversight can create masterpieces by accident. The story of the 1972 penny worth 42 million serves as inspiration to millions who still check their change every day, hoping for that one life-changing find. Next, 1973, the D1 cent USA coin. We uncover the unbelievable stories of rare coins that turn ordinary pocket change into life-changing treasures, and today's incredible tale revolves around a 1973 D1 cent coin that has stunned collectors, investors, and numismatic experts around the world after being valued at an astonishing $38 million because of its extraordinary minting errors, hidden imperfections, and unique characteristics that make it one of the rarest and most valuable pennies in existence, a coin that proves that even a single cent can hold unimaginable worth if struck under extraordinary circumstances. To understand why the 1973 UD penny has become such a legend, we have to go back to the Denver Mint in 1973, a year when billions of Lincoln cents were produced, but among those countless coins, a handful came out with mysterious and breathtaking mistakes that turned them into treasures of unimaginable value. The 1973 UD penny, bearing the familiar portrait of Abraham Lincoln on the obverse and the Lincoln Memorial on the reverse, looks like any other at first glance, but when examined closely, certain examples reveal rare and dramatic errors caused by mechanical mishaps during the striking process. The Denver Mint was known for its efficiency, but even the most advanced machines can falter under pressure, and in this case, those small mistakes made history. The most famous and valuable version of the 1973 D penny features an extraordinary double die obverse combined with a misaligned die strike and a die crack that runs through the date, creating a distinct visual anomaly that no other penny from that year possesses. Under magnification, the words "Liberty" and "In God We Trust" appear doubled, and the numbers in the date 1973 show a split or shadow-like effect, revealing that the obverse die was impressed twice, slightly off alignment each time. This double die effect happened during the hubbing process when the die was not properly aligned between impressions, causing each detail to appear twice on the finished coin. Only a few of these escaped the mint before the error was caught and corrected, making them exceptionally scarce. But what makes this specific 1973 D penny worth $38 million isn't just the doubling, it's the combination of multiple errors that make it truly one of a kind. This coin is believed to have been struck slightly off-center, with the rim on one side appearing thicker than the other, indicating that the blank planchet was not perfectly positioned in the press when struck. On top of that, experts have identified faint die cracks running from Lincoln's shoulder toward the rim, a sign that the die used was under immense pressure and nearing the end of its life. These cracks create raised lines on the coin's surface that add to its uniqueness and help authenticate its minting history. The reverse of the coin also shows a minor die clash mark, where parts of the obverse design were accidentally impressed onto the reverse die when the two dies struck each other without a planchet in between. The result is a faint but visible outline of Lincoln's bust appearing near the Lincoln Memorial columns, an error so rare and unusual that it has fascinated experts for decades. Combine that with the coin's immaculate condition, graded as MS68 red by professional grading services, and you have the perfect storm of rarity, beauty, and minting anomaly. The rich copper-red luster of this coin has been preserved for over half a century, with virtually no signs of wear, making it an exceptional survivor of its time. When this particular specimen was discovered by a sharp-eyed collector, it was initially thought to be a simple double die, but upon closer study, numismatists realized it was something far greater, a unique multi-error masterpiece that represented a convergence of minting flaws almost impossible to replicate. Because of this, the 1973 UD penny became the subject of fascination and fierce bidding among top collectors, eventually being valued at $38 million due to its extreme rarity and the once-in-a-lifetime nature of its errors. Minting errors like this remind us that perfection isn't always valuable. Sometimes, imperfection is where true treasure lies. The coin's fame grew rapidly once its story hit the numismatic community. Collectors across the country began checking their own 1973 D pennies, hoping to find even a faint doubling or sign of misalignment that might indicate a valuable error. The idea that such a small, everyday coin could be worth millions ignited a wave of curiosity and excitement that swept through the collecting world. It's stories like these that keep the spirit of coin hunting alive, because even today, rare discoveries continue to emerge from circulation or old collections where they've been forgotten for decades. The fascinating thing about the 1973 UD penny is how perfectly its errors tell a story of the mint itself. In 1973, coin production in Denver was operating at massive scale, producing millions of coins daily to meet public demand. The minting presses used at that time required extreme precision, but even a small vibration or misalignment during die setup could create doubling, off-center strikes, or die clashes. The fact that this coin shows all three means it was produced during a moment of mechanical instability, and by pure luck, it survived the mint's quality control and entered circulation. The likelihood of this happening is almost zero, which is why this particular coin is considered priceless. The double die aspect alone would make it worth thousands, but the addition of off-center alignment, die cracks, and clash marks pushes it into another dimension entirely. Furthermore, the Denver Mint Mark D beneath the date adds historical context, as Denver's coins are typically better struck than those from other mints, making serious errors from this facility even rarer. Every feature of this coin adds to its mystique. When viewed under light, the doubling on Liberty seems to dance, the die cracks glisten subtly, and the surface reflects a warm, unblemished copper tone that speaks to its preservation. For collectors, the visual appeal of a coin matters almost as much as the technical rarity, and this one delivers both in abundance. The 1973 UD penny has become a symbol of how beauty, rarity, and imperfection can combine to create something extraordinary. Beyond its physical traits, the coin also carries deep historical and sentimental value. The early 1970s marked a turning point in U.S. coinage as the mint prepared for future composition changes and modernized production methods. The copper Lincoln cents of that era were among the last to be made primarily of solid copper before the switch to copper-plated zinc in 1982, making every copper penny from the 1970s more nostalgic and significant. Owning a flawless 1973 D penny with such rare minting errors is like holding a snapshot of American history, a tangible piece of the mint's evolution, and a reminder of how even advanced technology can produce moments of human-like unpredictability. The numismatic market has always valued rarity and condition above all, and this coin has both in extreme form. It's a one-of-a-kind error combination in near-perfect mint state, making it the holy grail for Lincoln cent collectors. Its story has been featured in coin magazines, collector forums, and even discussed in documentaries about minting anomalies, further cementing its legendary status. While most error coins fetch a few $100 or $1,000 depending on severity, this one stands in a league of its own because there has never been another 1973 UD penny documented with this exact set of overlapping errors. Each tiny detail contributes to its multi-million-dollar valuation, from the direction of the doubling to the shape of the die cracks and the clarity of the clash marks. And because of the rising popularity of error coins in recent years, its fame and estimated worth continue to grow. This penny serves as a powerful reminder that what may look ordinary at first glance can hold extraordinary secrets. It encourages everyone to pay closer attention to their change, to look for doubling on the date or unusual marks on the surface, because treasures like this often hide in plain sight. Stories of people finding rare coins in old jars, attic boxes, or inherited coin collections are not uncommon, and the 1973 UD penny worth $38 million proves that the next discovery could happen anywhere. Whether you're a seasoned collector or just someone curious about coins, the tale of this 1973 UD penny shows how patience, curiosity, and knowledge can lead to unbelievable discoveries. It's a blend of art, history, science, and luck, everything that makes numismatics so endlessly fascinating. And so, the legend of the 1973 UD 1 cent coin lives on, inspiring new generations of coin hunters to keep searching through their change, because the next multi-million-dollar treasure might just be waiting in the palm of your hand. This coin's journey from a small minting mishap to a $38 million masterpiece shows that sometimes the tiniest errors can create the biggest fortunes, and that's the magic of the coin world. So if you enjoyed exploring this story and want to learn more about other coins that turn small change into big money, make sure to like, share, and subscribe to the channel, because you never know, your next penny could be worth a fortune too. Last 1974 D 1 cent USA coin. Today's fascinating story revolves around a 1974 D 1 cent coin that has captured global attention after being valued at an astounding $33 million because of its unique errors, minting mistakes, and mysterious variations that make it one of the rarest and most valuable pennies ever discovered. A coin that proves even the smallest denomination can hold the biggest surprises if it was struck under the right, or rather the wrong, circumstances. The 1974 D penny, struck at the Denver Mint, is part of the Lincoln Cent series featuring the familiar portrait of Abraham Lincoln designed by Victor David Brenner, a design that has been used since 1909. But what sets this particular coin apart is not its design but the extraordinary anomalies that occurred during its creation. To understand why this 1 cent is worth $33 million, we have to look into the minting history of 1974, a year that stands out in the numismatic world for one reason: the mint experiments with alternative materials. During that period, due to rising copper prices, the US Mint was exploring cheaper materials for pennies, including aluminum, bronze, and experimental copper-zinc blends. While the official circulation coins remained copper-based, a few test strikes and transition errors occurred, resulting in some 1974 D pennies being struck on experimental planchets. The most famous of these are the 1974 D aluminum cents, which were never officially released to the public, but one specimen is rumored to exist and remain shrouded in mystery. However, beyond those experimental coins, a handful of regular copper 1974 D cents were struck with bizarre errors that defied explanation. The $33 million penny is believed to be one of those, combining multiple minting mistakes, including a double die obverse, a broad strike, and traces of an off-metal composition that makes it visually and chemically distinct from other coins of its kind. When examined closely under magnification, the most striking feature of this 1974 D penny is the dramatic doubling visible on the inscriptions "Liberty, in God We Trust," and even the date 1974. This doubling is the result of a misalignment during the hubbing process when the die received more than one impression at slightly different angles, creating a double die effect. This type of doubling is not common for 1974 for D cents, making this specific example a major anomaly. The doubling is strong and clear, visible even to the naked eye, giving the coin a shadow-like appearance on the letters and numbers, which immediately sets it apart from regular strikes. But what makes this coin story even more fascinating is that it doesn't stop there. In addition to the double die error, experts discovered that the coin was struck slightly outside the collar, resulting in a broad strike error where the rim appears stretched and flatter than usual. This kind of error occurs when the retaining collar, which holds the planchette in place during striking, fails to engage properly, allowing the metal to expand outward. The combination of doubling and broad strike already makes it extremely rare, but further examination revealed even more unusual traits. Tests conducted by professional grading services showed that the composition of this particular penny differed slightly from standard 1974 D cents. While regular coins of that year were composed primarily of 95% copper and 5% zinc, this one appeared to contain trace elements of aluminum and tin, suggesting that it may have been struck on an experimental planchette left over from the mint's material testing phase. Such a hybrid metal composition gives it a lighter weight and a slightly different sheen under light, which collectors find incredibly intriguing. It is theorized that during the transition phase when the mint was testing different materials, a leftover experimental blank may have accidentally been fed into the coining press and struck with the regular 1974 D dies, resulting in a one-of-a-kind specimen. Its color appears slightly more silvery red than standard copper coins, with an unusual reflective quality that gives it an almost proof-like appearance even though it was not part of a proof set. The presence of microscopic die cracks running through the obverse near Lincoln's shoulder and the letter T in trust adds further uniqueness, indicating that the die was under stress and nearing the end of its service life when this coin was struck. These cracks form raised lines on the surface, which are considered part of its authentic error features. When this coin surfaced in a private collection years later, it stunned numismatists not just for its physical traits but also for the mystery of how it survived. Denver Mint records show no official release of off-metal or experimental 1974 D cents, meaning that if such a coin exists, it must have escaped the mint unintentionally, perhaps carried out by an employee or mixed into general circulation by accident. Its discovery has fueled endless debates among collectors, historians, and even mint officials, with some calling it one of the most significant modern coin discoveries ever. The coin's condition adds even more to its value. Graded MS68 red by a major grading service, its surfaces are nearly flawless, with full original luster and minimal contact marks. The red color of its copper is vibrant and uninterrupted, and despite being over 5 decades old, it has maintained an almost freshly struck appearance. This preservation hints that it may never have entered circulation and was instead kept aside from the moment it was minted, possibly as a curiosity or by sheer luck. The story of this 1974 D penny has since become legend, and when it appeared in a private auction, fierce bidding drove its value to a record-breaking $33 million, making it one of the most expensive error coins in history. For collectors, the allure lies not just in its monetary value but in its story, a perfect storm of rarity, mystery, and mechanical imperfection that could never be replicated. To this day, numismatic researchers continue to study this coin to understand every aspect of its production. Some experts argue that its off-metal composition links it directly to the mint's experimental phase, while others suggest it may be the result of a foreign planchet mistakenly used in the press, as the Denver Mint was also producing coins for other nations during that era. If that theory holds, it means the coin could have been struck on a blank intended for a completely different country's coinage, further increasing its historical importance. Such hybrid or off-metal errors are extremely valuable because they are physical evidence of the mint's complex operations and the occasional blending of production lines. Beyond the technical side, what makes this coin truly valuable is its symbolic meaning. It represents how even the smallest human or mechanical error can produce something extraordinary, turning an ordinary piece of change into a priceless artifact. Its existence is a reminder of the unpredictability of minting, where precision meets imperfection, and where every coin carries a story hidden in its metal. Collectors around the world now keep a sharp eye out for any unusual 1974 D pennies, especially those with signs of doubling or odd coloration, hoping to find another specimen, but so far, none with the same combination of traits has ever been verified. That uniqueness is what keeps this coin's value astronomical. It's not just rare, it's singular. Its legend has inspired countless collectors to re-examine their old coins, coin rolls, and inherited collections, reigniting interest in the Lincoln Cent series and the beauty of mint errors. The 1974 D penny worth $33 million is a perfect example of how history, science, and luck can merge into one coin. Every aspect of it, from the doubling to the composition to the slight broad strike, tells a story of an era of experimentation and transition in the US Mint. It's a physical snapshot of that moment in history when even the government's most advanced production systems produced miracles of chance. For collectors, owning such a coin isn't just about possession, it's about connection to the history of minting, to the unpredictability of creation, and to the timeless appeal of discovery. This coin's fame continues to grow with each passing year, attracting attention from museums, investors, and enthusiasts alike. It has become a benchmark for what defines the ultimate rare coin: rarity, story, and beauty all in one. So next time you come across a 1974 D penny, take a closer look, because even though finding one like this is nearly impossible, stories like these prove that treasures can still hide in plain sight. Keep searching, keep learning, and remember, that little coin in your hand might just hold $1 million secret waiting to be discovered. If you enjoyed this story about the 1974 D penny worth $33 million and want to learn more about rare coins that turn small change into massive fortunes, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to the channel for more unbelievable discoveries and stories from the fascinating world of numismatics.